You know that bone-deep exhaustion that comes after working a grueling 14-hour shift, when every inch of your body aches and all you want is to collapse into something soft. That was me, walking through the front door, praying for some comfort from my husband, the one person I thought I could count on. But instead, I found a betrayal that ripped me apart, right where I thought I was safest. My name is Emily. I'm 28 years old, a Walmart cashier by day and a warrior by night. Though most days feel like just endless survival. For the last 6 months, I've been pulling these insane 12 to 14-hour shifts at Walmart. Not because I wanted to, but because bills don't pay themselves, and dreams don't come cheap. I remember the first time I told Mike, my husband, about my schedule. Honey, I said, I might be working late this week. Like really late. He nodded, trying to be supportive, but I always caught that flicker of worry in his eyes. I know it's hard for him too. He's been job hunting, but nothing sticks. Sometimes he does odd jobs here and there, fixing cars, landscaping. But our bills mostly fall on me. Still, I believed that home was my sanctuary. That no matter how hard work was, when I stepped through that door I could rest. Maybe Mike would make me a cup of tea, or just sit with me and listen. But that night, everything changed. The fluorescent lights at Walmart buzzed overhead as I scanned item after item, my legs numb and mind foggy. It was PM when my shift finally ended, but with the commute and a quick stop for groceries, it was past 11 when I finally unlocked the front door. I didn't have the energy to flick on the main lights. Instead, I let the soft glow of the nightlight guide me down the hallway. I dropped my heavy bag by the door and called out quietly, "Mike," no answer. A knot tightened in my stomach. I wiped the sweat from my brow and shuffled to the bedroom doorway. There, a faint light spilled out. I peered in. Mike sat on the edge of the bed, but he wasn't alone. Another woman was there, sitting so close her arm was draped over his shoulder. They were whispering, heads bent together, sharing something I wasn't meant to hear. A sudden rush of cold hit my chest, and I felt like the floor disappeared beneath me. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. How long has this been going on? I wondered, heart pounding. Months? Weeks? What was I working so hard for? I remember just last week, when I had stayed late to cover for a sick coworker, telling Mike I'd be home late. He said, "Don't worry about dinner, I'll handle it." I thought he was trying. I thought maybe, just maybe, we were in this together. But the woman in the bedroom told a different story. I cleared my throat, trying to steady my voice. "Mike, who is she?" He looked up, eyes wide in shock, then quickly masked it with irritation. "She's nobody. It's nothing, Emily. You're imagining things." But the look in his eyes betrayed him. I wasn't imagining anything. Mike's words hit me like a slap. It's nothing. How could he say that so easily, when the truth was screaming at me from the sight before my eyes? I stepped into the room, heart pounding wildly. If it's nothing, why are you hiding it? Why are you with her when I'm working my fingers to the bone every single day? He sighed and ran a hand through his hair, frustration etched deep into his face. "Emily, you don't understand. This isn't what it looks like." I shook my head, disbelief burning in my chest. "Then explain it to me. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you don't care. Like everything I do, every late shift, every missed dinner, means nothing to you." The woman on the bed shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. I looked at her and then back at Mike, my throat tightening. "You've been lying to me," I said softly. my voice breaking. All this time, the late nights, the secret phone calls, it wasn't work. You've been sneaking around behind my back. Mike's jaw tightened. I never wanted you to find out like this, he said, voice low. Well, here I am, I whispered, feeling tears sting my eyes. For a moment, silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. Then Mike stood abruptly and walked toward the bathroom. I'll explain later, he said over his shoulder, shutting the door. I was left alone with a storm raging inside me, anger, hurt, confusion, all tangled up in exhaustion. I sank to the edge of the bed, fighting the urge to cry. How had things gotten so broken? I kept telling myself, you deserve better than this. The next morning, when Mike came out of the bathroom, he found me sitting at the kitchen table, nursing a lukewarm cup of coffee. I'm sorry, Em, he said, quietly. I looked up, searching his face for sincerity. Why, Mike? Why do this to us? I asked. He avoided my gaze. I felt trapped, like I wasn't good enough. I didn't want to burden you. I shook my head, feeling my heart crack again. We're supposed to be a team, but I've been fighting alone for months. The weight of those words hung between us. That afternoon, I called my sister, Sarah. I needed someone who could see me clearly, someone who could remind me what I was worth. She picked up on the second ring. What's wrong? You sound off. I swallowed hard and told her everything, the long shifts, the lies, the betrayal. She said softly, you don't deserve this. You've been carrying this marriage on your back, and he's been throwing it all away. I felt a mixture of relief and shame wash over me. I don't know what to do, I admitted. First, take care of yourself, Sarah urged. Then, we'll figure out the rest. You're not alone. Her words planted a seed of courage in me. Maybe I didn't have to stay trapped in this. That night, I lay awake in the dark, replaying every moment, every broken promise, every sleepless night. The woman on the bed that night was just the beginning. There was more money disappearing, excuses piling up, a hidden phone with messages that stung like poison. I realized I was at a crossroads. Keep pretending, keep hoping for change, or stand up for myself and walk away. When Mike came home late again a few days later, I was ready. I sat him down in the living room, steadying my voice. I can't do this anymore, I said. I need to know the truth. Everything. His eyes darkened. You're making a mistake. Maybe, I said. But I'm done living a lie. Mike's eyes flashed with something I hadn't seen before, anger, maybe desperation. You think you can just walk away? He snarled. After everything I've done for you? I blinked, stunned. Everything you've done? What about the nights I worked while you were sneaking around? What about the times I cried myself to sleep because you weren't there? He scoffed. You act like I'm the villain here. You don't know what I'm going through. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Then tell me. Because right now, it feels like you don't care. He paced the room, fists clenched. I'm tired, Emily. Tired of being judged. Maybe I made mistakes, but I never stopped loving you. The word sounded hollow. Loving me means lying, betraying me. You think I don't see how you're throwing away everything for her? His face twisted in pain, but the bitterness didn't fade. Maybe I'm tired of this marriage, he spat. Maybe I don't want it anymore. The ground beneath me cracked. I swallowed hard, tears threatening. Then say it. Don't make me live in this nightmare, pretending everything's okay. He looked at me, eyes filled with something I couldn't read. Regret, maybe, or relief. Fine, he said quietly. I'm done. I felt like my whole world shattered in that moment. The days that followed were cold and silent. Mike barely spoke, and when he did, it was sharp and distant. I threw myself into work, trying to numb the pain. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw that woman on our bed, his betrayal. One afternoon, a text popped up on my phone. It was from an unknown number. "You don't deserve him. You're stronger than you think." My heart jumped. It was from Sarah. Her support was a lifeline. That weekend, I met Sarah at our favorite coffee shop. She grabbed my hand across the table. "You have to get out, Em, before he drags you down." I nodded, feeling a flicker of hope. "I'm scared," I admitted. "What if I can't do it alone?" "You won't be," she promised. "I'm with you every step." Back at home, I began secretly saving money, setting aside every spare penny. I cleaned out old boxes, packed clothes I hadn't worn in years, and prepared for the life I wanted, a life free from lies. One evening, Mike noticed. "Where do you think you're going?" he asked, voice low. I met his gaze steadily. "I'm not sure yet." "But it's not he." His face darkened, but I didn't back down. "I'm done being your secret," I said firmly. Weeks later, after many silent battles and painful conversations, I found the strength to move out. The night I left, I stood in the doorway, suitcase in hand, heart pounding. Mike watched silently, his expression unreadable. As I closed the door behind me, I whispered, "This is the start of my new beginning." The first night in my new apartment was strangely quiet. No creaks from the old floorboards, no muffled arguments, just silence, the kind that felt both foreign and comforting. I sat on the edge of my bed, the dim glow of the city lights filtering through the blinds, and let the reality sink in. I was finally free, but freedom came with its own weight. I was alone, scared, unsure if I had made the right choice. A flood of memories washed over me, the long Walmart shifts where exhaustion became my constant companion, the empty dinner plates, the cold glances from Mike when he thought I wasn't looking. Yet, even with all that, hope had flickered inside me, the hope that things could get better. But that hope was shattered the night I caught him with her. Now, I had to rebuild myself from the ground up. The next morning, I woke early, determined to start fresh. I brewed a cup of coffee and sat by the window, staring at the busy street below. Somewhere out there was a version of me who smiled, who dreamed beyond exhaustion and heartbreak. I wanted to find her again. I threw myself into my work like never before. Walmart was tough, but this time I was different, not because of Mike, not for anyone but me. I was saving money, yes, but also reclaiming my sense of self. One afternoon, while on break, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Mike. "Emily, can we talk, please?" My heart thudded. I stared at the screen, torn between curiosity and pain. After a long pause, I typed back, "What is there to say?" His reply came quickly, "I want to make things right." I was wrong. I didn't respond. Days passed without another message. Then one evening, the doorbell rang. I hesitated, then opened it to find Mike standing there, looking weary and worn. "I'm sorry," he said simply. "I made mistakes. I was selfish. But I still love you." I looked at him, the man who betrayed my trust, the man who nearly broke me. "Love isn't enough," I said quietly. "Not after what you did." He nodded, pain etched on his face. "I know. But I want to fight for us, if you'll let me." For a moment, I wanted to believe him, to give us a chance to heal. But deep inside, I knew some wounds take longer to mend if they ever do. That night, I sat alone and thought about everything: the betrayal, the heartbreak, the strength I'd found within myself. I realized that forgiveness wasn't about him. It was about me. About freeing myself from bitterness so I could move forward. Whether or not Mike was a part of my future, I had already won. I had chosen myself. Weeks turned into months, and with every passing day I felt myself growing stronger. The sting of betrayal still lingered, but it no longer ruled me. I was learning to stand tall on my own 2 feet, not just as Emily, Mike's wife, but as Emily, a woman who refused to be defined by her past. Work at Walmart was still demanding, but I no longer saw it as a burden. It was my lifeline, my stepping stone toward a better future. I started taking night classes online, determined to earn a degree that could open doors beyond the checkout lanes. One evening, after class, I met someone, Daniel. He was different from anyone I'd known: kind, patient, and genuine. We met at a coffee shop where I studied, and soon our conversations grew from casual chats to late-night talks about dreams, fears, and everything in between. For the first time in years, I felt my heart softening again. But just as I started to believe in second chances, life threw me another curveball. One day, as I was leaving work, I saw Mike across the parking lot with the woman from before. They didn't see me, laughing and holding hands like nothing had ever happened. A fresh wave of pain hit me, but it was different this time: sharper, colder. I realized that not only had Mike betrayed me, but he had moved on without a second thought. The realization was painful, but it also ignited something inside me. A fierce determination to never let anyone treat me as a second option again. That night, I sat with Daniel and told him everything about Mike, the betrayal, the heartbreak, and my fears. He listened without judgment, holding my hand, reminding me that I was worthy of love and respect. His support became my anchor. As I built a new life, I began to hear whispers from mutual friends and neighbors about Mike's secret debts, lies, and the chaos he was leaving behind. The man I once loved was unraveling, and in some twisted way, it gave me closure. I wasn't going to get revenge by sinking to his level. My revenge was my happiness, my rise from the ashes. Months later, I stood in front of a small crowd at my graduation ceremony, diploma in hand, heart full of pride. Mike was nowhere to be seen, and I didn't care. I had fought hard for this moment, and it was mine. Graduation day was everything I had dreamed of: a tangible symbol of my strength, resilience, and the fresh start I had fought so hard to claim. Standing on that stage, diploma in hand, I looked out at the crowd and felt a surge of pride. Every sleepless night, every exhausting shift, every tear shed in silence had led me here. As I descended the stage, my phone buzzed with a message. It was from Mike. "Emily, can we talk? I need to explain everything, please." I stared at the screen, feeling the familiar tug of old wounds. But this time, I was different. I didn't need to run toward him or beg for answers. I was standing on solid ground. I typed back simply, "It's too late for explanations." That night, as I sat on my balcony watching the city lights flicker, I thought about how far I'd come. Mike had made his choices, and I had made mine. The betrayal was a chapter in my story, but it was not the ending. Weeks later, I received an unexpected call from Sarah. "Emily, you won't believe what I heard," she said breathlessly. "Mike's been trying to get help. He's lost everything: the woman, his job, even the house. I felt a pang of something. Was it satisfaction? Maybe just relief that he was finally facing the consequences of his actions. But more than anything, I felt free. I wasn't his anymore. I was mine. Daniel stood by my side through it all, a constant reminder that love could be honest, healing, and kind. Together, we dreamed of a future where past scars didn't define us. One evening, as we walked hand in hand through the park, I realized I was ready to embrace happiness again on my own terms. My story isn't just about betrayal and heartbreak. It's about finding strength when you think you have none left, about choosing yourself when others won't, and about rising no matter how many times you fall. If you're watching this and going through something similar, remember, your worth is never determined by someone else's mistakes. You have the power to rewrite your story. Thank you for staying with me through this journey, a journey of exhaustion, betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimately, empowerment. If there's one thing I want you to take away, it's this. No matter how dark the night feels, there is always a dawn waiting for you. Sometimes the people we love disappoint us in ways we never imagined. But that does not define who we are or what we deserve. You are stronger than your pain. You are worthy of respect, kindness, and love from others, but most importantly, from yourself. If my story resonates with you, please like, comment, and share your experiences below. Let's build a community where we lift each other up. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more real-life stories of courage, resilience, and family drama that will inspire you to take control of your own story. Remember, your best chapter is still unwritten. Hoped you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment revenge so that we could understand you were with us till the end. As well as, please let us know, where are you watching from? What do you want to hear from us in next video? If you have any incident in your life, please let us know. We would love to share your story.